Hello, my friends. Welcome back. Thank you for joining me today for this special pick a pile reading for the solar eclipse and the new moon happening on April the 20th at 12:12 Eastern Time. Depending on where you live in the world, you'll maybe get a chance to observe this beautiful hybrid solar eclipse. It won't be visible in North America, but it will be visible in parts of Australia, Indonesia. I've made a little description below. You can read where it will be visible, and maybe you'll get a chance to see. It's a beautiful experience, this hybrid solar eclipse, because you'll see different stages of the eclipse depending on where you are. In some cases, we'll see that ring where the moon eclipses the sun, and you can see that ring around the moon. And in some cases, depending on where you are, again, the moon will completely blot out the sun, so there won't be a ring at all. And in some cases, it'll be partial. So that's why it's called a hybrid solar eclipse, because it's going to depend where you are on Earth, how you will experience this. It's very interesting. It only happens they say a few times in a century. So it's very exciting to see this happen. And it's happening at the same time as the new moon in Aries. So this is all very interesting energetically and astrologically speaking. So I thought it would be a great opportunity to do a pick a pile. You might not be able to see, but I have 11 decks. I picked 11 different decks. There they are. I'm moving them towards you. And I'm going to shuffle and create 3 piles. And then I'll give you the opportunity to choose a pile, or you can watch whichever pile resonates for you based on the timestamps or however it is that you choose. I'll leave the timestamps below. All right, my friends, let's discover together what energy will be moving towards you from this new moon and the hybrid solar eclipse happening on April 20th at 12:12 Eastern Time. Love that time score as well. All right, here I go. We'll see you after the shuffle. Okay, my friends, here are the 3 piles. Pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. The timestamps are below, and I'll see you in your reading. Pile 1, welcome to your reading. If you chose this image or the timestamp for pile number 1, then you have arrived at your reading. I have not looked at the piles yet. Let's look at them together. Let me get them all laid out first, and then we'll dive right in. Okay, those are your tarot cards. Now, let's see. What is the energy around this new moon in Aries and the hybrid solar eclipse for you, pile 1? Now, you can't really see all of that, but I'll show you all of the cards as I have a look at them. Let's move this closer so you can see. Well, that's a little better. Okay, that one to put there. There, okay. Thank you for your patience. Okay, let's get started. So first thing I'm noticing in your pile is this idea of a new beginning, a start, something moving in your current energy, something realizing. You're realizing something, and it feels like that realization is shifting you into a place of empowerment. And so this is the start. As you can see here, you must start from where you are. Examine your situation and take a chance. I'm seeing that come through with this new life oracle message as well. So that really makes me feel like right now you're about to experience a new beginning. There's a start that you can take. There's some initiative that you can sort of take into your hands. You've got this Ace of Wands here as well. So this is really an opportunity for you to, achieve something, to begin something, but you have to take this. You have to sort of reach out for this wand and begin this new beginning, this start. You must start where you are. Examine your situation and take a chance. It's very interesting because as you're being guided to examine your situation, we see this Eight of Cups. And this Eight of Cups is making me feel like you have to bring closure to something before you can achieve this new beginning, this new start. That it almost feels like you received the Ace of Wands and the Eight of Cups as a signal to you that there's a beginning and an ending that you're experiencing right now, pile one, and it's all very divinely timed. We see that message of divine timing coming through for you. So this is very interesting. That message of divine timing is sort of echoed when I see the Hierophant card come through, because you may realize that there is this new beginning. The keys, right? The keys here always make me think like you're about to unlock the information or the pathway that you need in order to begin this new path, this new life, this Ace of Wands, this new start. And as you realize this, we're seeing this realization energy come through here. Oops. Where it says here, the frequency of realization supports the internal process of becoming aware of our heart-centered truth, as well as the external process of becoming aware of the highest expression that we can hold. And so it's like you're realizing that you hold this potential. And as long as you hold it, you have this new pathway available to you. And it's very interesting because the rest of your cards really support that idea of something new and something coming to a close, something new and something coming to a close. And it really feels like you're going to be guided to realize that over the course of this new moon and solar eclipse, this hybrid solar or hydrosolar eclipse. It really seems like it's the right time for this, but you have to take this opportunity. These aces are opportunities. These aces are untapped potential. You have to be willing to reach out and take it. And to take it, I feel you will need to realize first that something needs to come to an ending. This Eight of Cups, I can't help but think that there's a closure that's needed. You almost need to walk away from something in order to really connect into this new beginning, pile one. And further to that, let me just put these cards here so we can continue to look at them. But further to that, looking into the rest of the cards that you've received, we see this idea of a connection. This was the card with the image that maybe resonated for you, or maybe you picked based on the timestamp. Or, I think some people maybe pick the same pile every time they do a reading, but who knows? Whatever. You might be watching all three readings. In any case, the message of this card, connection, is to break isolation, to seek what brings you vitality, because we're all interdependent, and to reach out for support, that you're not alone. And that's the other energy of this Hierophant card, is that you may need to find a teacher, a coach, a counselor, a guide. There may be some support available to you that will unlock things for you because of those keys. Again, this can really be reaching out for support. This can be a sort of an energy where when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So it's sort of like you could have this opportunity to really see things from a different perspective through forming connections and breaking isolation. So not feeling like you have to do everything by yourself, but to sort of start where you are by realizing this sort of moment that is approaching where you're going to have this opportunity to really reach for something new, but it really feels like you have to close down an emotionally connected cycle. It's like your reading is full of beginnings that come from realizations of something that doesn't serve you anymore. And so really forming those connections, finding the keys to help you understand where you have this vitality, where there's that Ace of Wands potential for something new to begin, for you to start something, and it's all divinely timed. And so it's the right time for this. Now, interestingly enough, you may have to surrender your fears of intimacy so that you can connect with others and break that isolation. So pile 1, you may have been trying to do everything on your own, and you may have realized that doing things on your own only gets you so far. And your particular path may require you to reconnect and to not have this block of fear. And fear could come through in so many different ways, but right now it's resonating for you in this pile as a fear of intimacy, where it says here, you're ready to let love in. And when we let love in, we let support in. And when we let love and support in, that opens the door to receive all kinds of things like abundance and prosperity, and it just creates an open energy as opposed to a closed energy. And so it says here, compassionately identify and begin to release any patterns that stop you from opening your heart. And we see that idea here. Break isolation, seek what brings you vitality, reach out for support, and you're not alone. And that 8 of Cups may be exactly where we're seeing this, is that you need to walk away from something that's no longer serving you. And it may have served you for a period to sort of close yourself and heal. But now it's time to open up again, pile 1. It's time to be open again. And we see this beautiful card of the Great and Full, which is essentially the Ace of Cups. You see the lotus, you see the chalice, you see it overflowing. So you've got an Ace of Wands and an Ace of Cups here. So you've got 2 opportunities here to reach out for a new beginning. But in order to get there, you have to seek what brings you that vitality, which is the Ace of Wands, and also open your heart, which is this Ace of Cups, to be open again, to let love in. Because when we're closed off to love, which is the highest vibration, we are closed off to the energy that could support us. We're closed off, right? And when we're closed off, you can sort of imagine, I'm seeing like a clam. It closes off and nothing can penetrate it. It becomes a pressure cooker. And so, and then ultimately, it's closed off. So you are being guided to be open here and to realize that by being open again and by shedding that fear of intimacy, you let love in, you let vitality in, you let abundance in, and you let all kinds of serving energy that will serve you. And I feel like realizing that is what's divinely timed, and that's what will get you moving. That's what will get this train moving. And we see the Chariot here. So you are on your way. Some of you may be actually moving. Some of you may need to actually start a new life, a new timeline, a new pattern somewhere else. And it's interesting. It could be a metaphor. It could be figurative for some of you. It could be that you're just ready to leave things behind that don't serve you. For some of you, you might be actually moving, but for others of you, you might actually just be moving away from things that keep you in a low vibration, in that closed vibration where nothing can get in, including love and prosperity and abundance and this vitality that's coming through for you. Very beautiful reading so far. We see here the frequency of authority reminds us that true authority is a power directed and realized, yet receptive, wise, and loving. So this is a message, I think, to guide you to see that once you realize that you're the authority, you're the driver of the chariot, once you realize that you're setting the tone and you're setting the direction, it might leave you more open to being receptive. So by holding this authority, it's almost an empowering message of take the lead. Take the lead. Realize that you're the one that's in the lead here for yourself. And ultimately, you're deciding the direction based on the energy that you hold. If your energy is closed off and not open and not receptive, then it's sort of like a standstill where you're sort of stuck in this place where you're not moving forward or back. You're just standing still because you've closed yourself off. So it's really important, I think, for you to think about and realize seeing things from a different perspective. There's the Hanged Man, looking at things from a different perspective and surrendering any fear and trusting that the soul and the power within is the authority. And so it's very interesting, your reading. This message here of soul power coming through says, always remember you're a soul that comes with a body, not a body that comes with a soul. And that your soul is your true essence. And you have an unlimited supply of power in that. And that you can command it wherever you decide. So your reading is guiding you to realize that you can break the isolation. You can seek what brings you vitality. You can shed your fear of intimacy and open your heart to love. And you can start where you are. You are the authority here. You are the chariot driver. You may need support and guidance from someone who's a teacher or an expert or a guide or a counselor, you name it. That will be the key here in this Hierophant card. And so it's a very beautiful reading of being open here, pile 1. Really being open. And it's the divine timing that gets me here, because this has probably been building and building and building, and it's about to be right there at your fingertips, but you're ultimately the authority there. And so you're sort of being guided here to really check your intentions, let go of anything that's not serving you, and remember that there's always enough. There's that infinite, unlimited supply right at your fingertips, but you have to open up to it. And you have to sort of be mindful about this new perspective and realize, right? I love that realization energy that came through for you, where you become aware of your heart-centered truth and how to express that heart-centered truth into this world, how to break open that isolation and start expressing what's in your heart, and how to be vital as you do that. Where do you feel that vitality? Where do you start to understand that you're the authority, that's free will, that's real free will, in that we get to choose the energy that we are holding, and that is what creates the alignment with other energies. But we get to choose. That's the free will. Free will isn't you choosing to go to the store versus staying home. Your free will is that you get to tap into whatever intention you have, and then the universe starts to align with you based on that. The universe has no agenda for you. This timing is that it's your time now. Your time is right in front of you, in the sense that right now is the opportunity that you may have been feeling like you've been seeking an opportunity, and it's within you. That's the divine timing, is that it's within you to get this moving, and it's up to you. That's the other part of free will, that it's up to you if you decide to tap into this or to keep things closed. That's your true free will. And by whichever decision you decide, that will be the energy that you're in alignment with. And so right now, this reading is guiding you to break wide open and grab onto these opportunities that lie within you. And you may need to seek some support, some advice, some guidance, and to reconnect with others as you open up and express that vitality that's within you, to find the highest expression of what's in your heart. Wow, what a beautiful, beautiful reading for pile 1. I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining me for pile 1 and this reading. And I look forward to reading for you again soon. And I'm sending so much love to you for this new moon in Aries. Really, Aries energy is all over your reading, you know, in the sense of this is your will. This is your vitality. This is your energy, and you can do whatever you want with it. But there is an opportunity here for you to open up. There is guidance here for you to open right up and start to express what you hold and what you can share. All right, I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you, my friends. We'll see you again very soon for another reading. Pile 2, welcome to your reading. If you chose this image or the timestamp for pile 2, then you have arrived at your reading. All right, I have not looked at the deck yet, or the pile, I should say. Let's have a look together and see what messages you will receive. There, sorry. Okay, let's see. Growth, interesting. Let's get them all laid out first, and then we'll go through them together. Wow. Okay, very interesting so far. Let's have a look here. I don't think you're going to be able to see all of these cards. There's so many, but I will show them to you as I go through them. Let's just get them all out here first. Okay. Okay. Okay, very interesting. Okay, pile 2. Right away here, what I'm seeing in your reading is that there's this energy of being devoted to something. Okay, seeing this loyal heart, I think I'll start here. Seeing this loyal heart card is really a message of sort of asking the question, always makes me think of this question of where are you devoted? To what are you devoted? Where do you devote yourself, or to what do you devote yourself? And how is that going, right? Like what is the impact of that? When you devote yourself to a certain area, what is the result? What are you seeing? What I'm seeing here is that by devoting yourself or being loyal to a certain pattern of behavior maybe, or a certain way of being, you're sort of in some ways carrying burdens that may not be yours, but you're also in a place where you've got a lot of stability and you've got a lot of sort of security, and you're almost leaving a legacy here. And I feel like in some ways you're able to take charge of things, not only through doing and action, but also through your logic, the way you're able to shift your perspective and see things from another side really, really serves you. And I feel like right now you're sort of being guided to make an effort. There's that 8 of Pentacles, to make sort of a really concerted effort to devote yourself further to whatever it is that you're feeling very loyal to. Because you know, it's almost like you're ready to do things in a slightly different way. Like I said, you know, in some ways, this is you carrying a burden, but it's also in some ways you ready to lay down these burdens. And so I feel like we're seeing the King of Swords as a message of, you know, you don't have to stop everything that you're feeling loyal to, but you may have to do things in a different way. You may need to shift how you're seeing things so that you can shift your perspective and almost shift out of sacrifice and out of carrying burdens on your back into a place where you feel more supported, where you feel less burdened and more like you're making an effort because you want to. So less obligation, more I want to, you know, and anything that resonates as obligation to you, it's almost like you're sort of being guided to to take a deep breath and trust that you were born to do certain things and not other things. You know, we can't be good at everything. We can't serve everything. We have to make choices. We have to make choices and sort of understand that as we grow, we have to almost be selective about where we put our energy. And it's interesting, your pile is guiding me to these messages of taking action on things that really resonate for you and leaving behind things that feel like obligations or things that feel like burdens, like almost like you're taking on too much. So you're really being guided to have sort of this perspective that you can choose, and you can trust that you'll know what to choose and what to expand on. You know what I mean? It's interesting. So far, this reading really makes me feel like your power to shift your logic is going to serve you. Your ability to see things from a different perspective, pile 2, and then make an effort towards the things that feel like growth, that feel like you're doing what you want to do, what resonates for you. It's very interesting. For some of you, this could involve a connection with another person. And you may be sort of needing to love unconditionally, because I see this universal love here coming through, because that activates the connections that we feel with each other. And like love is the highest vibration, master number 44 in this card. So I feel like this energy of love, and you've got this energy of the divine feminine also coming through for you, is sort of supporting that nurturing and that receptive side where you're opening yourself up to more love and romance and connection. And I feel like this is almost a message of like, you don't have to be on this journey alone. You don't have to be on this journey alone and carry all of these burdens on your back by yourself. First of all, I feel like this reading is saying to you, you can let down those burdens, but also that you by being open and receptive to love, you can sort of find yourself devoting yourself and being loyal to an energy of love, which I think is really going to help you heal some old wounds and help with the growth. We see here this growth card, which is maybe the reason you picked this pile. It sort of looks like, I don't know if you can see it very well, they're really reflective cards. There's a tree here, and there's a figure here standing inside the tree, and this energy of the tree is sort of enveloping her, and it's helping her heal. It says here, heal old wounds, your soul is ever present, restore the connection to spirit, your healing helps the world, and we are live fully, live freely. So there are some things that are making you feel tied down, weighed down, burdened, like you're carrying a lot on your shoulders. But I feel like up until now, you've probably been doing a lot of the carrying by yourself. And I see this 5 of Swords, which is a moment where you may have tried to communicate how you were feeling and felt like you were misunderstood, or you tried to explain something and felt really defeated. And so you may have closed yourself off after that and not allowed yourself to receive support from anyone. So your message seems to be centering around being receptive to support and being receptive to love. And it says here, people come into your life for many different reasons. Some learn from you and then move on, while others return often because you need to learn more from those individuals. And yet others may remain beside you throughout the entire lifespan. And so this reading is really making me feel like for pile 2, we're looking at not doing everything alone, not feeling like if you if you don't carry everything on your shoulders, nothing will happen. By trusting that you can shift reality with energy, and that you don't have to do this alone, that you can be open to others, you can be open to support, you can heal old wounds and reconnect and restore that connection with the divine, because ultimately that connection can serve you in so many ways, but you have to be open to it. You have to resonate with that frequency of love and flow and receptivity with the divine feminine. So pile 2, you're really being guided to that divine feminine energy and to trust. It says here, trust that you will be born a creative being and let me read that again. Trust that you were born a creative being and have never stopped being one, and that you can create. That's why we're seeing the magician here. You can create. You don't have to carry burdens on your back to create. I almost feel like this pile needs to hear the message that by shifting on the inside, we create an outer shift. That it doesn't always have to be shifting through the 3D. You can shift energetically within and experience a shift around you. You don't have to shift matter with matter. You can shift matter with energy. And I feel like you're almost realizing that. And it's coming through the divine feminine for you. So receptivity, being open to receive, not feeling like you have to do everything alone, feeling like you can connect with others and receive support. And for some of you, this involves maybe a partnership, because we see that this energy of romance and connection. So I wonder if for some of you, it's opening yourself up again, trusting again to open yourself up from having maybe some old wounds that closed you down, to open back up again, and to really feel secure doing that with that 10 of Pentacles, to really feel like you can look at things from a different perspective with that King of Swords. The King of Sword energy, there's no gender here, but his energy is one that can really shift the perspective, to shift the energy, right? Like seeing the King of Swords with the Magician is a really powerful combination in my mind, because the King of Swords to me is the mind. It's that energy of shifting your intentions, your thoughts, your beliefs, your perspective, your perception, to see a shift in the outer world. And that's really coming through strongly for you. You're also receiving these 2 cards of surrender to prayer and surrender to play. So you might need to have a little bit more fun, pile 2. I think you've been working so hard. You've been working and sacrificing. And I don't know if you've had any fun or any connections with anyone. You might have just been so focused on providing yourself with security and really establishing this legacy that you forgot about love and fun and play and other people and connections and being creative as opposed to just working. And the message here for the play card says, take a break from overthinking a goal and do something fun. Play is a time of recreation and rejuvenation. And it can really help us tap into that receptivity, and it can help us tap into shifting our energy and looking at things from a different perspective, not such a tired perspective of literally from working too hard and from overthinking and from maybe some closed off energies where you haven't really been connecting with others. The surrender to prayer says here, give yourself completely over to prayer. When you pray from your heart, you will be heard throughout the universe, and answers and support will arrive. Prayer to me is this idea of setting your intentions, shifting your intentions towards what you desire, and sort of already being thankful and grateful to it. I feel like you've been so devoted to a certain path that you You've been trying to do it all alone. And it's interesting, seeing this deep breath card come out for you as well is a very lovely indication of choosing love over fear and being amazed by that. Because right now, I feel like if you're coming at things from a position of fear, you might be repeating lessons that you don't need to repeat again because of, seeing that growth card really resonates with this deep breath card. This idea of growth and healing old wounds is sort of coming through this card where you don't need to keep repeating the same path. You don't need to be carrying these wands endlessly from one end of the field to the other. You can sort of release that and just say thank you to the fear that's coming up, that's leading you to repeat things over and over again. And then choose another path. Choose some play, choose some prayer, choose to tap into that divine feminine energy where you are receptive and open to receive support and have whatever questions you have answered. This is an interesting time for you, Pile 2, to really trust that all will be well and to keep that as your intention as opposed to anything that's causing a fear-based anticipation of sort of undesired outcomes, which is something, again, where I feel like the King of Swords energy will serve you because you can really be mindful about what you're thinking and your intentions. So this is interesting. It's really guiding you to have more of a loving perspective when it comes to choosing, it really feels like you're at a place where it's love or fear, and you're being guided to tap into love and to see the fear as an old wound that you're growing out of, and to trust yourself and to trust that even if you have had moments where you've been misunderstood and you haven't felt like you knew how to express yourself, you can move past that. You don't have to stay there. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to repeat the same pattern over and over again. You can trust that you've learned this lesson. Whatever lessons you needed to learn, you've learned them, and you can heal those old wounds and start to live in the present and play more so that you can really tap into that divine feminine energy where you're not isolating yourself and falling into this illusion that life is too painful and too scary to engage. That is the fear talking. It's so interesting. Your whole reading is guiding you away from fear and towards love, and to shift in the mind, and then to shift in the actions, to start to invest yourself in that all is well belief, and that you can move out of your comfort zone, experiencing a little bit of discomfort, granted, but to trust that you will have the courage to take a leap into an unknown, and that all will be well. Do you know what I mean? And it's a very interesting reading for you because there's this divine support coming through for you when you're open. And yet when you're closed, it's like it creates this energy of like, I've got to do everything by myself. I've got to carry everything on my shoulders. And there's no support for me. And then that creates its own momentum that you're almost being guided to release as an old wound. What a fascinating reading for you, Pile 2. I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining me. I feel like this new moon and solar eclipse is going to bring that energy into love and away from fear. That is the tone of your reading. And that by opening up to love and to surrendering to play and having fun again and feeling the delight of dedicating and putting your effort into something that lights you up, as opposed to feeling like you have to struggle and work and surrender and sacrifice, on something that you feel doesn't serve you. I feel like you're ready to change that pattern. You're ready to leave the comfort zone and to explore a new way of looking at at everything that you're devoting yourself to, and to really start to feel that growth that comes from surrendering and trusting yourself. Wow, I'm going to leave it at that. Okay, thank you so much for joining me for this reading, and I look forward to reading for you again soon. Take care, my friends. I'm sending you so much love. Pile 3, welcome to your reading. If you resonated with this image, or you selected the timestamp for pile 3, you have arrived at your reading. Now, I haven't looked at the cards yet, so let's lay them all out and see what messages you received. I haven't looked, so I'm not sure. What will the new moon and solar eclipse energy reveal for you? Let's have a look together. Okay, and your tarot cards, we'll stick them here. Actually, let's put them here. Okay, pile 3. What I can see right away for you is that there is a new way of thinking about things coming in here. One that is going to create more confidence for you. The solar plexus is being highlighted. That is your personal power center of I can, and your confidence is in your solar plex. Your belief about what you can achieve is here. And it's interesting because it's coming out with this idea of surrendering, setting limits, right? And to this idea of surrendering outdated beliefs about yourself. So seeing all of these beautiful cards come out together is very interesting. Let me read them for you. It says here, solar plexus. The frequency of the solar plex chakra, the yellow flower of life, supports your sense of self, your personal power, your willpower, as well as the knowing of who you are and what you contribute to the whole. And so really understanding yourself, your willpower, knowing who you are, feeling confident that you have something to contribute, and then contributing it, like taking the action to go for it and contribute. And so seeing that come out with surrendering, the idea of setting limits, is interesting because that says to me that you can say no to some things and yes to other things, and you don't have to limit yourself to a certain little area where you feel maybe that's the limit. That's as high as I can go. I feel like what's happening here is interesting because you're getting this message to go deeper. There are no limits for you, pile 3. You're really getting this message to go deeper and to surrender any sort of outdated beliefs about yourself that may have you convinced that you can't go deeper, that you have a limit, that there's only so far you can go, and then after that, well, I guess that's that. You know, it's interesting. It says here, let go of limiting ideas about yourself that originate from the past. Then you can have your power and soar in your life. So this is all about empowerment, confidence, strength is here. That is the message of the card that maybe was the reason you picked this pile, because of this image. That message says here, strength, be steadfast in your heart. There is power in tenderness. Hold space for healing and growth. Be a safe haven for others in need. Stand for what you believe in and be willing to yield, adapt, and stay strong. And so it's interesting because going deep, expressing a deeper meaning in life while staying attuned to the childlike wonder is at the heart of all great art, is coming through for you. And it's interesting because you've got these two kings here and the Queen of Pentacles. And I feel like these 3 court cards are expressing everything in this reading so far, in that you've got this King of Cups, which is guiding you to the idea of being open to this heart energy, right? This healing, this growth, this idea of being sort of not setting limits by seeing yourself as this balanced and almost limitless energy that can achieve whatever it wants, and that there is something within you that has this sort of ability to yield and be adaptive and to hold space from a different perspective, is this King of Swords energy for me, where when I see both of these kings together, it's like the heart and the head. You know what I mean? Like you're moving from both of those places. Or I feel like you're creating movement in the heart and in the head. Like you're creating movement in how you think about things and how you feel about things. And I feel like you're taking any kind of limit and you're throwing it right out with this Queen of Pentacles, who's so grounded and so resilient and so manifesting anything she desires. This ability of being able to create from within and to be so grounded and nurturing. All three of these court cards, I can't stop focusing on one for the other. It's very interesting. The way that they're blending for me is that you're taking your heart, your head, and your whole self. This idea of grounding. It's almost like we're seeing the solar plex chakra come through, but also it's creating an impact on how you feel grounded within yourself, how you feel emotionally grounded, and how you feel mentally grounded and open, not limited, no ceilings, no limits. And it's interesting because you also have the Ace of Swords, which to me is the truth. You're holding the truth. The truth of this is that you have the strength in your heart, you have the adaptability in your mind, and you have the ability to heal and grow in the Queen of Pentacles, in your ability to ground. It's so interesting. I'm seeing these court cards all merging together as forming this personal truth that you're holding, and it's new. It's based on confidence and strength, and it's like seeing this energy of you coming alive again, regeneration. It's like you're rebirthing into a new harmony. You're finding harmony and resolution by bringing balance to this outdated version of yourself that no longer resonates. It's not helping you to feel strong in your heart, in your mind, or in your own healing and growth, which is again why I feel like you got these three court cards, because they all sort of embody those areas where you're going to be going deeper with this personal truth that you're holding that is empowering you and giving you strength. It's so interesting to look at the cards you received, because I feel like you're really stepping into this time where you really understand who you are and that there are no limits. Even if you used to have outdated beliefs about yourself, I feel like you're starting to see how outdated those beliefs were. Now, I just have to plug in the camera because I just noticed the battery is, there we go, starting to lose strength. So this It Is What It Is card is about radical acceptance of who you are, this truth, and releasing any kind of resistance, denial, or limits that you may have placed on yourself. You know what I mean? Like, this is about you radically accepting yourself. And instead of trying to fight and resist, it's like you become empowered and you transform, and you're willing to step back and accept things, realizing that whatever you're holding within will be reflected to you on the outer. And this is very interesting. This card always brings me to the Serenity Prayer, where the Serenity Prayer is, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And it's very interesting. This is about you releasing attachment to limits and boundaries that are old school for you. They're outdated, and it's like you're being guided to say yes and no on your own terms and to express what you hold deep within and to trust it, to trust that harmony that you feel when you start to really feel confident about yourself and trust yourself and not doubt yourself. You hold this Ace of Swords. It's a potential that you can reach out for and set your own story, a new story where you are releasing past patterns that it's like you're liberating yourself from this burden. You're no longer yearning, you're trusting. You're no longer doubting, you're accepting. You have opened up, or you will be opening up, and it's really shifting your energy. And I love seeing this "it is what it is" card, because by stepping into that serenity to say, this is out of my control, I can't change it, so I can only change myself. Or by saying, this is within my control and I have the confidence and courage and strength to change it. And I will change it. And I feel like that is a reflection of these outdated stories that you might be holding on to that are going to be flying out the window. And it's interesting, again, because this new moon is in Aries, we see that Aries energy in this reading as well, in the sense of feeling like you're determined and you have the ability to take action on something and then doing it and feeling that strength and courage and confidence. This is all Aries energy. Excuse me. We're also seeing Dream Talk here, which is a very interesting sort of blue card that's appearing. You've got a lot of blue cards here, so I really feel like some of this is going to come through how you express yourself. And we see that expression in this Going Deeper card. And I feel like part of you is going to start speaking differently about yourself, which is also this King of Swords and Ace of Swords. So it's not only how you think about yourself, but it's how you speak about yourself. This is about your I am statements. This is about how you see and speak of yourself, think of yourself, and feel about yourself. This is all about you and you, pile 3. It's so interesting. This Dream Talk card says here, your subconscious constantly and subtly speaks through your dreams. It's just one of the many ways in which your soul and those here in the spirit world can reach out and communicate through signs, symbols, messages, and more. What I'm feeling from this card is that energy of how you think and speak of yourself, and that there may be some deeper things happening in the dream world that may be giving you signs and signals about where to really express yourself, where you need to be willing to yield and accept as opposed to resist and fight. Like, you know, it's so interesting, this reading. I feel so much right now as I'm looking at these cards. It really makes me feel like it starts in the heart and then it moves into your head and then it moves through the whole physical body to ground into what is. And acceptance, radical acceptance. That is the energy of these, again, these 3 court cards. I can't help but gaze at them because I feel like you're tuning into all of these energies. The heart, the mind, the communication, the speaking, and also the grounding. Feeling grounded, not trying to escape, not trying to avoid, but radically accepting and facing things, and then having the courage to know what you can change and what's outside of your control. That serenity prayer. I would focus on that, pile 3. It feels like this reading is guiding you to focus there, and that will bring in this regeneration that we see in this card here. I love seeing this regeneration card because it always makes me feel like there's a part of you that may have thought, oh, well, that's gone. You know, that's never going to surface again. I'll never have that opportunity again. Well, this is your rebirth. This is your sign that you are rebirthing and that this is your chance. You're getting another opportunity to revisit an authentic part of yourself in a stronger way. in a way that isn't limited, isn't stuck, isn't feeling like you can't, isn't feeling like you can't look at the world with childlike wonder anymore. This is so fascinating to me because I feel like whatever you may have perceived as being a loss is not a loss. And in fact, you could be sort of coming back into this, stepping into a new world, a new timeline, a new life. And this is going to really help you see that you can understand things from a different perspective when you shift within, that these opportunities are sort of all around you, and they and dwelling in these outdated past moments isn't serving you. And so I really feel like you're about to close the door on a bunch of things that no longer serve you, pile 3, and you're going to start to see where you have control over things and where it's about releasing and surrender, and how to express that part of yourself that you may have thought was gone. You may have thought, oh gosh, yeah, I remember when I used to be like that. And it's like that still lies within you. That is who you are. It's just been laying dormant. But I feel like it's about to come into harmony, and you're about to resolve this outdated belief about yourself and really start to see that you can shift into a time where you see your personal power, where you trust your ability to contribute whatever the authentic expression is that you hold. And by not escaping who you are, but surrendering to who you are, accepting who you are, self-acceptance is so much in this reading, so much in this reading, and it will bring you into harmony and resolution when you're able to finally let go of any kind of limited beliefs about what you can do, what you can express, who you are, and what you're capable of. There's no limit here. You're holding this. You have the opportunity to hold the truth about yourself and to express it. And I feel like it's coming back around. You're regenerating. You are reborn in this new moon and solar eclipse, my friends of pile 3. Wow, I'm loving this reading. And you've gotten this really special message of paying attention to your dreams. So you might want to really think about, what have I been dreaming about lately? Maybe I need to start a dream journal, or just even have, like, some people record into their phone right when they wake up, whatever they remember. And that way you can just sort of say what you remember instead of getting a pen, having a book ready, and you can just talk into a device to say what you remember about your dreams. Very interesting. You're shifting boundaries here. You're radically shifting things as a result of all of this shift in the energy around us. Wow. I'm going to leave it at that for you, pile 3. What a fascinating reading. Solar plex, confidence, sending you so much love, my friends, as you are ready to shift, as you are ready to release old stories, old limits, old narratives, and to really go deep, to understand what you have to contribute and how to do it, and that it's all possible. This is so fascinating. I've loved this reading. Thank you so much, my friends. I hope this has resonated for you, and thank you for joining me. I look forward to reading for you again soon, and I hope you can see and feel and express your true self, and always trust that you have the strength within to shift and be flexible, and to stay strong, and to be open to yourself without limits. Okay, I'll see you again soon for another reading, my friends. Take care. Sending you so much love.